Picture this, a chilly January evening in 2022. A man is joking with his family, his laughter filling the room, his smile as bright as ever. Hours later, he's lying motionless, silenced by a single, ordinary moment. One fall, one hit to the head, and just like that, he's gone. Could a minor fall kill you? This isn't just a story, it's a warning that could save your life. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will make you rethink every stumble, every dizzy spell, every headache you've ever ignored. Bob Saget. The name alone brings a wave of nostalgia. He was Danny Tanner, the heart and soul of Full House, the dad who tucked his kids in with a warm hug and a cheesy joke. He was a stand-up comedian whose quick wit packed theaters, a voice on America's funniest home videos that made millions laugh. Bob was more than a celebrity. He was a friend to fans, a father, a man who seemed to have it all. But beneath that iconic smile, something was quietly unraveling. Something he didn't see. Something that could be hiding in you or someone you love right now. What was it? Keep listening, because the answer will chill you to the core. It started so subtly you'd barely notice. A headache that lingered after a long day. A dizzy spell he brushed off as too much coffee or not enough sleep. Maybe a moment where words slipped his mind, and he laughed, saying, "I'm just tired." These weren't random aches. They were his body's desperate cries for help. Have you ever felt something like that? A pain you dismissed as no big deal. A wave of fatigue you blamed on a busy week. We've all done it. We tell ourselves it's nothing, that we're fine. But for Bob, those overlooked signs were the first sparks of a fire that would consume everything. What if the symptoms you're ignoring are trying to tell you something deadly? As time passed, the whispers grew louder. Friends started to notice Bob wasn't himself. The man who could light up a room seemed dimmer, more withdrawn. He'd joke about it, saying, "I'm just getting old," or "I need a vacation." But it wasn't age or stress creeping in. It was something far more dangerous. His energy drained away. His laughter came less easily. He kept pushing forward like so many of us do, ignoring the warning signs piling up. He didn't know his body was a ticking time bomb, counting down to a moment that would shock the world. Have you ever pushed through feeling off, convincing yourself it'll pass? What if it doesn't? January 9th, 2022. A date etched in the hearts of millions. The man who'd brought so much joy, who'd made us laugh until our sides hurt, was gone. The cause? A fall. Something so simple, so everyday, it's almost unbelievable. The autopsy revealed a skull fracture, likely from hitting his head on something as ordinary as a headboard or a nightstand. No drugs, no foul play, just a fall that triggered a cascade of devastation. This wasn't a dramatic accident or a rare event. It was a tragedy that could have been prevented, a life that could have been saved. And the scariest part, this could happen to anyone, to you, to your parents, to your kids. All it takes is one misstep. Here is the truth that will keep you up at night. Bob's death wasn't a freak accident. It was caused by a traumatic brain injury, specifically a subdural hematoma, a silent, deadly pool of blood pressing on his brain, choking its ability to function. This isn't something that only happens to the elderly or the frail. A slip on a wet floor, a stumble down a few stairs, a bump against a doorframe, any of these can unleash this hidden killer. Every year, 50,000 Americans die from traumatic brain injuries, and millions more suffer permanent damage. Bob Saget wasn't the first victim, and unless you act, he won't be the last. Could you be one fall away from disaster? Your brain is like a finely tuned engine, and a fall is like dropping a wrench into its gears. When you hit your head, blood can pool inside your skull, slowly squeezing your brain until it shuts down. The symptoms are insidious, easy to dismiss. A headache that feels like a tight band around your skull, dizziness that makes the world tilt, confusion, nausea, or a strange sense of being off. The most terrifying part: You might feel perfectly fine for hours, even days, before the damage becomes irreversible. Bob likely went to bed that night thinking he'd just bumped his head, unaware that his brain was bleeding. By the time anyone knew, it was too late. Are you sure that minor headache you had last week was nothing? What if it's a warning you're ignoring? This isn't just about what happened to Bob. It is about what you can do to make sure it doesn't happen to you or someone you love. Falls aren't just clumsy moments. They're alarms blaring from your body. 1 in 4 falls leads to serious injury or death in adults over 65, but younger people aren't safe either. The key is knowing what to look for and acting fast. If you or someone you know falls, even if they seem fine, get to a doctor immediately. Watch for persistent headaches, slurred speech, weakness in an arm or leg, or changes in behavior. These aren't annoyances. They're red flags that could mean life or death. Don't wait for symptoms to scream. By then, it's often too late. You can start protecting yourself right now with steps so simple they seem almost too easy. Build your balance with exercises like standing on one leg for 30 seconds a day. It takes a minute but can keep you steady for years. Feed your brain with foods like salmon, walnuts, or blueberries, packed with omega-3s and antioxidants that shield against injury. Take a hard look at your home. That loose rug in the hallway, that cluttered staircase, that dimly lit bathroom. They're not just inconveniences, they're traps waiting to strike. Add grab bars in the shower, clear pathways, and install bright lighting everywhere. If you're over 50, ask your doctor about bone density tests or neurological screenings to catch weaknesses before they turn deadly, and never ever ignore a fall. Even if you feel okay, get checked. One quick Dr. Shez visit could be the difference between waking up tomorrow and never waking up at all. Bob Saget's story is a wound that still stings. His laughter, his warmth, his light, gone in a moment that didn't have to happen. But his loss can be a turning point for you. Close your eyes and think about the people you love most. Your mum who tripped on the porch last month and laughed it off. Your spouse who's been complaining about headaches but says it's just stress. Your kids who play rough and tumble without a second thought. Have you ever brushed off a symptom because you didn't want to seem weak? Have you ever told someone, "It's nothing, don't worry"? Those moments could be the first notes of a tragedy. Don't let them be. Don't let Bob's story end in vain. Act now, because the clock is ticking and you don't know when it'll stop. This video isn't just a story. It's a lifeline, a chance to change the future for you and everyone you care about. If it made you pause, if it made you think about that dizzy spell last week or that fall your dad had, don't keep this to yourself. Hit that like button, share this with someone you love, and subscribe. Every week, I bring you truths that could save a life, maybe even yours. Bob Saget's death was a wake-up call that shook the world. Don't let it fade into silence. You have the power to stop the next tragedy. Share this video, act on what you've learned, and do it now, because tomorrow might be too late.